Hello, good morning. Warm welcome to everyone and to this retreat, which we can explore the subject of mastery. And before we do, it would be great just to get the feeling of who is connected, where everyone is joining from. If you feel like sharing in the chat, it would be lovely to hear or to see. I know we have the Far East and also we have the West and in between. So welcome to everyone. I think you can type, hopefully you can hear, and translation is working okay. Not hearing Italian translation, okay. So maybe some adjustments needed. And greetings, Mauritius, Italy, London, Spain, Frankfurt. So the realization of mastery, nicely put, that Marcius Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Connection between understanding and power, what we can change and what we can't. And Plato said the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. When we think about victory, we don't often think about inner victory in this world. But this self-mastery, and Aristotle pointed out, I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. But the hardest victory is over the self. And hard if we haven't got a clear map, but with knowledge, at least principle, we can grasp. So this will be a great chance to refine. A welcome to Pakistan and Chile, US, South Africa, Frankfurt. So I'm going to hand over now to Brother Prashant. A warm welcome.
Excellent. Thank you. So nice, these quotations. Aurelius was emperor, Roman emperor, and for them to come with these insights, they are quite extraordinary. So the inner mastery, that is that is a subject, and this reference is there in many spiritual traditions. Don't know exactly how they understand all this, but in some respect, they are referring to being master over the senses. But before we come to the subject and the discussion, let us create some time for ourselves, create some time in silence. Encouragement for more of us to come in the light, and feel free to type interaction so it becomes more like a gathering. So in this very minute, we are reminding that we have the intellect, we have paras. It's like an extraordinary gift. For all Raj Yogis, this is like the first step. Check that you are using the right instrument. What happens with paras? we are seeing the way God sees. It is game as vivid as this. In 1 second, game changes. We are able to see the entire physical world for what it is. If the physical world is a story, we are able to see it as a story. If it is temporary, we see it as temporary. It also means when we are using stone intellect, we are deceived. Something that is temporary and we can't see the obvious. So we now see everything that is happening today, it is in a story. Everything of the past is a story. Paras helps us to go beyond the story. That is the greatness of Paras. And when we see beyond, we are seeing that beyond the story is the real world. We see it in the image of a sky. But this is just vivid for one who is Paras. The real world in this is the true family. They all are like living stars. But here is the true family, real home. Here is the world of the Father. But intellect is not just we are seeing it, we are understanding also. If it was just a sight, we see stars, okay, sky. But when we are using the intellect, we are understanding these are divine beings. They got personalities. They naturally need nothing from anywhere. They naturally are desireless, egoless, sorrowless. That is huge. Someone is zero ego. And zero desires. And they know they are beyond harm. All are like this. They are naturally beings of joy and love. If there are no desires and no sorrows and no ego, what remains is joy. Lovely, loving, and lucky. Such is the truth. Paras helps us to see the truth. We don't say our family is in the story. It can be in the spiritual world. That is not a family, that is a drama. In the drama, there is a family. Truth is only at one place. What is eternal? And at this level, all are worthy of great respect. They all are childlike and godlike. Childlike in extraordinary. Everything is at its extreme. They are 100% innocent. No complexities. Innocent because they are 100% safe. Less carefree. But they are also godlike because they are in truth. They are not deceived. They are innocent, but they are not deceived. That's why they are godlike. Immensely lovely and loving. Forever. Such is this world. All this environment helps us to become conscious. This environment helps the soul, helps the invisible prince. Alaukic environment. And one who is conscious, he finds it is normal to be like a point. He finds it is normal to be immortal. Just the soul, life, and perspective from the soul appears normal. He's conscious. Just like anyone wakes up, then he doesn't need to be told. He's not having a meditation commentary. He just sees where he belongs and who he is. Same, the invisible prince wakes up. And for him, this alaukic dimension is normal. To be from that sky is normal. To belong to God is normal. To be worthy to be loved by God is normal. That distance from the story appears normal. There is a story. Lots happening in that story. That's the story. And it is 100% separate from his world. Right now, Prashant is talking about God and the soul, but that is happening in the story. At the same time, the invisible soul is conscious and understands his complete independence. Having the perspective of the soul, not mixed. Story is separate, whole thing of the story is separate. Role is within the story. Invisible soul is the invisible observer of this whole thing with full self-respect. He knows he's lucky. He knows everyone is lucky. Why he's lucky? We are talking here about life with God. a world of immortality, world beyond harm. Not even the slightest harm can come from anywhere. World where there is no need and no begging of any kind. Never a beggar. World of joy and love. The world itself is of joy and love forever. Great family, divine family. We use the word divine because at this level there is no Ravan. At the truth, at the level of the truth, there is no Ravan. No demon, then it is divine. The region is divine. Auspicious, in other words, nothing inauspicious. So he knows he is very lucky. He also knows everyone is lucky. All are from the same home, same family. All are worthy. As he just sees this, just he is awake and seeing this reality, it contributes to the benevolence. It helps them become conscious. Because there is such a big prize right in front of everyone. And the highest thing that can happen to them is they see it. And every time we create light here, it will just become easy. So it becomes like a lighthouse effect. If the soul is conscious and is doing this, just the power will be more. Light will be more. It is like you take one step of using the right intellect, and you just reach completely a different world altogether. World with God and truth and immortality and happiness and benevolence, upliftment and highest karma. Greatness in the present, greatness in the future. Just one step. As we continue on our journey, we understand the value and the importance of this one step, becoming soul conscious. The prince becoming conscious, that is the step. Thank you. It would be nice to hear some thoughts from you, and if you want to share any thoughts or say anything, ask anything, and then we'll come to our subject.
Appreciating this positioning with the sovereignty, this natural mastery. It's coming to mind is recently in the Murli about this, either you're Brahmin or you're warrior. So either you're experiencing that natural stage that we're told that we are stepping into, or there's something we're struggling with. So this destination is actually easy victory, we're not meant to be finding this difficult, which raises a few questions, and I'd like to understand more what this master of the senses means more clearly. No comments right now, so maybe once we get started.
Yes, sure. Before we come to the discussion, I'm going to read a passage where Baba is talking about the master of the senses. This is Murli in 1989. All of you, elevated souls, are the charioteers of the chariots. This consciousness automatically makes you detached from the chariot. It makes you detached from any type of body consciousness. When there is no body consciousness, you easily become yoga-yukt. And you become yukti-yukt in every action. Yoga-yukt, you become constantly yogi, and is your soul conscious, your body conscious, not a soul conscious. Yukti-yukt. Yukti means clever, means you become wise, sensible. You don't do mistakes. By considering yourselves to be the charioteer, all your senses and sense organs remain under your control. You develop the controlling power to bring all your senses close to the destination of your aim. The charioteer himself can never come or become subservient to the senses. When Maya attacks someone, the method of Maya's attack is that she makes you become subservient to the senses, one sense organ or another, or one of the subtle powers, that is, become subservient to the mind or sanskars, intellect. Instead of you being able to discipline the mind, into you being the master of the mind, with the great mantra, which you charioteers have received from the Father, she makes you become subservient to the senses. If you are under this evil subservience, then all the other evil spirits enter. Because these evil spirits have a lot of unity with one another. If one evil spirit comes, it will invoke all the others. And just gives us a little orientation and how Baba is seeing. It is poetic, and that's what we will have a chance to see today. What are these senses? What it means to be subservient to the senses? Do you want to tell? What does it mean to be subservient to the senses? So there are eyes. I am seeing, right now I'm seeing this. There's a tree in front of me. I'm seeing this tree with my eyes. What does it mean to be the master of the senses? How will it present? And when I'm slave to the senses, slaves are the masters. What will be the difference? Right now I'm hearing you and hearing some sound, hearing some music. Someone is playing music, I'm hearing it. If I am the slave to the senses, what will be the style? And if I am the master of the senses, what will be the style? What will be the main difference? Do you want to tell? What does it mean, becoming master of the senses?
Lots of questions. Yes, so being free, you would remain detached in all circumstances, is the one comment. So you wouldn't have preference, maybe. Someone wrote, being guided by the senses. I'm not sure if that's a sign of being trapped, possibly, if you're guided, or perhaps guided rather than slave. Not sure. If you're not trapped, you're focused on the self. And someone wrote, positive outlook. If you're master, you will act with pose and poise. And Spanish message coming.
So why do you need all this knowledge and so much, getting up so early in the morning, and why do you need all this to become the master of the senses?
If you're slave, the senses will influence the mind away from truth into falsehood. If you are master, you will have consideration for others, such as the volume of music. A slave to the senses is the person who has no control over them. They will do things without taking into account the consequences.
Yeah, excellent. Sure. So now we are coming to our board. You will see some of our original sketches, and let us see the story, what has happened to all these masters. Starting position. In starting position, these masters have got their world. And these masters are the invisible princes. And as was said, their world is of wonder. It's a wonderland. They know they are very, very lucky. Life with God and life with the divine family alive in an emerged way. It is not a theory for them. Like if you are with very, very special beings, they all are wise, rich in heart and rich in head. Such is the family. Divine royals. Like here there are some families, royal families. Here is divine royals. They are royals and they are from the God's family. Other royal family, they may not be divine. There may be some complications going on inside them. This family is divine. And so here we are seeing the wonderland, and that way eternal. Such is the truth. Now there is Maya. Force of Maya is there. That is Maya's. Without Maya, the story will not be complete. And Maya's biggest aim, Maya is merciless. It can take one as low as possible. Given the chance, it can take one to the extreme in ignorance. So Maya is doing its job. There is no complaint against Maya. So first thing that happens to this invisible prince is he is coming in the darkness. Let us do this. First, he is in the gradually brought in the darkness of ignorance. With the darkness comes ignorance and confusion. He gets deceived. He doesn't realize this is not his world. He starts claiming things, clinging to things. He is deceived in that story. And deceived, it leads to bondage, getting trapped. And the next step, he himself becomes unconscious. He doesn't even know that he exists. And what happens when he becomes unconscious? We are talking about the invisible prince here. He is unconscious. What happens when he's unconscious? You want to tell?
He's not a master of the senses.
Yes. Still one more. So he is gradually in this spiral.
Ravan is in charge. Enemy.
Yes.
Deceived.
Yes. So it is like a downward spiral. Maya, see the success of Maya. It's sort of, he's the prince and full intoxication, full wonder, full love and happiness. And, he's in that emerged experience of this family, father, his truth. Now, he has completely forgotten his world. He has even forgotten that he exists. And he is now absolutely caught in this little story. It could be a Harry Potter story, bizarre, some situation. He's so caught in this. It is no different to Harry Potter story. This is just another story. And certainly not the cause, not the reason to sacrifice your world to such an extent. But that is my success. He is gradually deceived and reaches the level he is unconscious. And now when he's unconscious, his enemy, that is ego, becomes the king. He is in charge. He's conscious. And the ego, it has got many heads. There are 10 heads of Ravan. So all these ego are in charge of the mind and life. Ravan is in charge. That's why it is Ravan's kingdom. Ravan, this is 24-hour game. The soul is unconscious. It is not just unconscious now and then. It is a 24-hour game. One wakes up with Ravan, one is leading a life as Ravan, one is using the senses, one who is using the senses, Ravan is using the senses, and what will be the aim of Ravan? Ravan will use the senses for what? Including mind. Ravan is using the mind, Ravan is using the senses 24 hours, because there is no other option. The other option is soul, but he is not conscious. So if Ravan is using the mind, what will he be doing? What is Ravan's main uniqueness? What is Ravan's uniqueness? I don't want to use the word virtue for Ravan.
Speciality, maybe.
Yeah.
Making Sita soul a slave, taking over control of the actions, reactions. He wants to grow, to survive.
The Ravan's main speciality, or his madness, his unique madness, is he cannot go beyond the story. It is locked in the Harry Potter. He thinks about Harry Potter, talks about it, he cannot go beyond it. And that gives you an idea, if he himself is locked in that story, then his mind is used in the story, and senses are used for the story. Everything is caught in the story. Maybe he wants more, either pulled or pushed. Baba uses these two words, lagao means pulled, and takrao means there's conflict. You are complaining, pulled or pushed. But story, if Ravan is in charge, sign of it is he cannot let go of the story. In the medical literature, you will hear one kind of personality is described within the medical world. And these personalities, these are rare personalities, they get caught into small things. For example, one lady, you may come across this, one lady is making an appointment to see the specialist, and she goes, meets the specialist, and say, okay, what's the complaint? She says, cat. Yes, about cat. So cat jumped out of the window. When? 3 years ago. So what? What more? Or so what? She feels that is a complaint. And that has disturbed her so much. And she has been thinking about it, worrying about it, complaining about it, making appointments with many doctors, talking about it. And she feels others are not taking it seriously. It is such a serious thing. Why are they not taking it seriously? It can be any petty thing. They get locked into that, and they cannot let go of it and ignore everything else in the process. they use their wealth to make these appointments with the specialist. And the family may have no resources anymore because she has to sort out this, what she feels is so serious crisis. But everyone, Ravan is of this personality. Ravan is caught in this pettiness. He ignores the entire world. He has got nothing to do with even you. You, the prince, your father, your family, your home. He has got nothing to do with it. He wants to think about Harry Potter and complain about it. He wants to beat someone. He wants to take revenge. Or he's impressed with someone writing songs. But in the Harry Potter, that has become his world. And even within that Harry Potter, he may be caught into some further pettiness within it. As Ravan gets more advanced, he's getting caught into more petty things. That is the sign that Ravan is using the senses and Ravan is in charge. Ravan is not just dumb monster all the time, angry. When there is anger, there is Ravan. No. Most of the time, Ravan's madness continues. Then it is Ravan. Just thinking about this petty thing, Harry Potter. Then it is, at that time, it is Ravan. Is there Ravan in your town? Anyone has seen Ravan in your area?
When you say thinking about Harry Potter, I do appreciate this clarification. It's not just when steam is coming out of the ears, it's Ravan, but it's like, do you mean like idle thinking rather than purposeful? Because it could be for the mission, but idle or just hanging around Harry Potter.
Yeah, good. The pulled or pushed, as was said, pulled or pushed. But we'll also see if the prince is conscious, like in your house, say there may be Harry Potter film going on in the on the screen, but you don't completely ignore your family, parents, your life, your duties. You don't completely ignore them in preference to Harry Potter. You know that Harry Potter film is going on, but you are aware of your life. You may be even acting in the Harry Potter, drama. You go, but your attention is on your real family and you, the real you. So also here, when the invisible prince is conscious, he doesn't forget his real world. His heart is in the real world and the true family, true father. That is where the heart is. And he may have a action to perform. He may have a mission to go there in the theater, and may have to act also. But it will not be pull and push. It will not be some keep thinking about why, what, who. These things will not be there. He will be doing that, performing his action. He can put a full stop to the story in preference to his real world. Real world becomes his world. So that is a big difference. Real world.
Some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's asking, but sometimes you have to take decisions how not to take part in the story while taking decisions in the story.
Yes, decisions have to be taken. Let the prince take the decision. We do not need that madness of Ravan to take the decisions.
He said the actor is on the stage, but doesn't forget who he is. Are the subtle senses only in the subconscious mind that needs clarity and discrimination by?
In a subtle senses, the main area here, mind. Baba is talking, like Ravan absolutely knows the value of mind. And he wants to use the mind. And if the mind is used, then Ravan exists. If Ravan cannot use the mind, then as if Ravan is out of job. If the driver cannot use the car, then as if driver is without the job. It is like that. Mind is the main when Baba says subtle senses. But let me just complete this part of the subject. So we are, is it okay? Yeah, and we'll come to the questions again.
Yes.
So here we are seeing the story of the invisible prince whose world is wonderland, and it is there right now, world with God and world of this great family. It is there right now, and this applies to each one of us. World, no harm that can come to him at all, but just see what has happened to him at a very practical level. Just orientation. He is not even conscious now, the prince. That is what has happened. And right now, you and each one on this planet, they feel they are from Harry Potter. Very natural. They feel like feeling this Prashant is I. Someone feels I am Peter and I am John. Very naturally, feel. You are not even questioning it. And it is because Ravan is the king. Ravan is in charge. Ravan is the one who is using this letter I in the story. He is obsessed with story to such a level that he doesn't even just thinks this is mine and mine. He uses the letter I to things within the story. So if you are playing the part of a camel, if the actor thinks I am that camel, that is literally what is happening here. The letter I is used within the story, and the soul, the prince, he is not even conscious. Okay, so this is the situation, and we saw Ravan's madness, Ravan's priorities. Ravan thinks about the story, and then Ravan is also, one of his madness is he's insecure, so he wants more. So that is also going on. He wants, whatever are the heads of Ravan, they want to get bigger. So he wants more sugar, more cakes, he wants more praise, he wants a bigger job. Ravan is a demon, means he can go to any level, taking sorrow, giving sorrow. Ravan can go to that level. But Ravan is also eternal beggar, consistent beggar, regardless of what he receives. He wants more. Give me more. That doesn't stop. And Ravan is an eternal victim. He forever feels he is, someone is after him. That paranoia is eternal for Ravan. As long as Ravan is there, he is in the, for good reason, because in that confusion, the letter I is used to things that are temporary and things that are unpredictable. That is where the letter I is used. So he knows it is going to go. So whole life is in the mentality of beggar, victim, and demon. Can you imagine? Here is the angelic prince. He was an angel and a prince at one time. And now his constant life is of a beggar, victim, and a demon. And then he puts up a front, nice front. I'm a nice demon, smiley, speaking kind words, and attending positive thinking courses, speaking positive language. But the full programming is of the victim and the beggar and the demon and the slave. That is full-fledged programming. These are the lowest denominations that we see in the world. Now, in this process, he's sort of looking for positive thinking, and he may come across knowledge, listens to the Murli, and Baba says, be the master of the mind. Who is listening to the Murli? Be the master of the mind. Who is listening? You want to answer? Prince. Prince is unconscious.
Angels.
Angel, but angel is unconscious.
Ravan.
The only option is Ravan.
Brahmins. Positive mind.
But positive mind, agreed, but it is the one who should be listening to the Murli, that is Prince. Baba is speaking to the Prince, but Prince is not even conscious. So
What about someone's written soul? Soul is
soul, agreed, but soul under the influence, zombie soul. And the zombie soul, it is their life is ruled by Ravan. 10 heads of Ravan, they are listening to this message. Be the master of the senses. So at a practical level, what is likely to happen, in this present situation, one ego says, yes, I want to be the master of the mind. I will stop all this other ego and I will be the master of the mind. That is what is more likely to happen in an ordinary state. But Baba's aim is, Baba is saying, speaking to the soul and telling that the soul should become the master of the mind and become master of the senses. Now, for that, the soul has to be conscious first. If the soul is conscious, then the game can start. If the soul is not even conscious, how can he be the master of the mind? So we are now understanding the riddle differently. The message is nice, and we all understand this. And as was said, even someone like Aurelius and Aristotle, they all are talking about the same thing. Don't know how they understood it at that time. And many bhakti institutions are also saying this, be the master of the senses. and be the master of the mind. This language continues. But here we are seeing that there is a little, we need to decode the message and understand what is meant by this. The prince, invisible prince, need to become conscious before he becoming the master. And if he is to be made conscious, what is the answer there? How do you start? How do you make this invisible prince conscious? Even for a short time. This is our success. Even for a short time, for the invisible prince to be conscious, it is a success. How can we start this process?
Constant reminders. Start with meditation. He should first know that he is unconscious. Maybe either a spiritual hint or a Vinesh force will come to the soul. Paras, sit down and reflect.
Very good, very good.
Divine wisdom.
Excellent. Now, Baba's method is light of knowledge. Baba's, what all that Baba is doing brings knowledge. And Baba tells us, even if you are in the train, you are here, bring knowledge. Flood the place with knowledge. Let them, Baba called it Dharma Yuddha, battle of righteousness, battle of, one can say battle of truth over falsehood, and darkness, overcome darkness with light. Yuddha is war, Dharma Yuddha. To get back the higher ethics. In other words, you are helping the angel win over the demon. This is the real battle. Angel winning over the demon. And just as you want to flood the place with knowledge, and in your town you want to create knowledge, posters, and billboards, all this, whatever that is appropriate, you are doing it. Create full knowledge within ourselves. Environment of light favors the soul. Environment of darkness favors the demon. It is straightforward like this. Anytime you are in an environment of darkness, something emerges. You will notice suddenly Ravan has become bigger, and Ravan's arguments will come. Answer is, come in the environment of light, come in the environment of full knowledge, and you will see the ridiculousness of Ravan. Environment of in yourselves. One is the knowledge we hear the Murli, but the essence of knowledge, you tell me. We do the things, we do the Murli, we do some things, traffic control, Avyakt signal, did the job, we got the notes. What is the essence of knowledge? I'm not asking essence of Murli of today, but the essence of knowledge. Do you want to tell?
Put it into practice. Essence is yoga. Essence is to strengthen the intellect with constant study.
From the knowledge point of view, what is very important, even for yoga, what is the very important part of knowledge?
Guide the line of thoughts, to be embodiment of knowledge, soul consciousness, to wake up, be the form of it, be the swarup. I would say freedom.
And along with all this, I might add to this essence of knowledge,
Understand what gets in the way, stay in remembrance. Remember the truth, understand who the soul is. Cleaning the mind, silence, attention, sharing knowledge.
Very good. But all of these are important. Along with this, one important aspect, see the irrelevance of the story. See the whole story as not worth a penny, not 1 penny, not 1p. Whole of this, what you are seeing in front of you, including your cities and the whole thing, the entire Harry Potter world, is not worth a penny. It is opposite. We said that personality makes a big deal about petty things. Something that is so insignificant, she keeps thinking about it, complains about it, worries about it. Ravan is just this. Ravan is making a big deal about this story. Everything has become so valuable for him, important. What someone said, what someone did, everything matters. He thinks about it, he writes it in his diaries. Takes every night he's writing his diaries. And he's going to the therapist to bring it out again, all this, who said what and how this happened. He's into that. The Ravan's department is this. Knowledge, you say, that whole thing, Harry Potter, I don't want to know about it even. Whole thing is so irrelevant. It is not worth a penny. Don't want to waste my time in it. If you can have this, that is the reason we are using these words like this, Harry Potter, because we want to reduce the power of this, Ravan's power. So when you are saying whole thing is not worth a penny, story is still there and everything is still there. Your city is still there, but Ravan shrinks. Ravan becomes big as your value, you increase the value of the junk in that story. As the shares are, the value of the shares increases, Ravan becomes bigger. Junk shares are increasing, value is increasing, Ravan gets bigger. As you say, it is not worth a penny, zero value, not worth a penny means zero value. Ravan shrinks. This is our aim. Ram comes to remove Ravan. Ravan's restlessness, Ravan's noise has to be reduced. Otherwise, Ravan will interfere with senses and the mind all the time. If you shrink Ravan, then it is a good news for the angel. Knowledge of the soul is there. We agree, soul. We tell others also about soul. We also tell others about God. All of that is there. But at a practical level, Ravan has to be smaller. Ravan is the only competition to you for the senses, for the mind. Anything that is valuable, Ravan will be there first. Anything that has value, Ravan wants to claim it first. So you make Ravan small. An easy method. Repeatedly come back to this. That you are seeing it as small. Paras is a huge help in this. because Paras naturally sees it as small. Paras means that you are seeing in full light. Excellent. Yeah, very happy to hear any comments and any observations.
Well, I was just thinking, it feels like the child who is given a toy, but this has gone wrong because they've become totally mad, bad, sad, because this toy it's been overwhelming the child. So this seeing it as not worth a penny is the method the parent will use. Just let it, it's not important, it's not worth a penny, it is a toy, and to grasp that adult intellect. I'm just reflecting because in the Murli it's often talked about golden age, and they're all means to make you let go of this time, to make you, but in a very gentle way, because unless and until we experience Paras, we might not understand. So these are all methods geared towards letting go of the toy by saying there's a much better toy coming. So, but I like this. We need to be very clear because Ravana will create lots of reasons to hold on in the name of the golden age toy and mix it all up again. So I just wanted to kind of wondered if that made sense.
Yeah, very good.
Bring another angle. Question: if Ravan goes to what is valuable, then everything becomes invaluable. I'm not sure that makes sense.
You know, what we are really saying is something that is worth nothing, Ravan gives value to it. Ravan is mad. You know, he has crossed a line into ignorance. So something that is of no value, we are talking about story. You know, stories finish, episodes finish. You know, it is not in your real world, but Ravan lives in that and makes a big deal about it. And so that's why Ravan's madness has created a huge value to this junkyard. We are reminding that whole of that junkyard is not worth a penny. Baba calls it Kabristan, graveyard. And it is good to remind us, whatever that works, until the place will still remain, and nothing disappears. It is still there right now, and it may disappear sometime. But when you are saying it is not worth a penny, Ravan shrinks. Ravan becomes smaller. And if Ravan becomes smaller, even by 1 inch, the same second the angel is helped, you will experience angelic feelings. The connection is as direct. It is like an inverse ratio between the angel and the demon. Demon becomes small, the angel becomes alive, and the angelic feelings will be experienced. If the demon becomes big, then it blocks the angel. And then the angel cannot use the senses, and the angel cannot use the mind, because he is blocked by the demon.
Very helpful formula, because it's like you know exactly what's going on. You contemplate and shrink the Ravan, you get the instant shift, and then you know exactly the formula. So this question, how to enjoy timeless victory, is this the same formula?
Yeah, excellent. This victory of the angel, first let us get it. That is the first thing for us. And in this victory, we need divine sight, because we have to see the big map at least. We need the divine intellect, so that we can see and experience and see what it means. Intellect interprets things, understands the wonder of this truth, experiences the greatness of the family. So you're not just seeing it, but you are seeing their personalities and their love and their greatness, and the father, the worthiness of being with the father, and his wisdom and love. Everything becomes alive if there is intellect. But you also need a finger, sight, intellect, and a finger. Why do you need a finger? You need a finger for this? Why do you need a finger all of a sudden? You need a finger to
Keep a finger on the box
yes,
to raise the mountain, maybe.
yes, that's right. Put all these things, things of the box, put them back in the box, put a lid on top, and then keep a finger on top. Power to pack up. We need the power to pack up, and then keep a finger on top of the lid, that it doesn't come out. So if you are using this, then you can be victorious and experience the victory ongoing. If you take off the finger, then then Maya will bring things out. The lid is semi-open. Immediately things become big. I know you will have time for, you need time for the rooms, and then we can continue afterwards. But any questions? I'm very happy to deal with. Now,
you would like a question now?
Yeah.
Maybe one more before the room then. We're trying to grasp something that we don't actually have experience of, since the soul does not experience anything in the soul world. But still we have these powerful experiences, and that's why we keep going. Where do those experiences actually come from?
Yeah, the soul doesn't experience in the soul world. That is not completely, not a complete statement. Soul is an experiencer, and wherever he is, he will experience. Experience is his virtue. He's an experiencer. When he is in the physical world, his experiences are physical. That is what he's experiencing. He's a traveler here, and he's experiencing, your cities and countries and sunrise and sunset. He's experiencing all this. But when he's in the home, in the supreme home, he's experiencing the supreme home. At that time, he's not experiencing the drama. That is all. When he's in the home, he is not experiencing the drama. At home, he is experiencing that sweet silence and sweet peace. He is experiencing his own greatness and wonder. And what is the proof that he is experiencing all this? Do you want to tell? What is the proof that he is experiencing all this? Each and everyone has experienced this.
Well, good to have proof.
Someone
Peace.
asks you, what is the proof? What will you answer?
Maybe all have experienced peace and silence. That's what we are longing for.
That's excellent. Yeah. So over here in our journey here in the physical world, all the time, everyone is longing to experience something. And where is this longing coming from? Is it possible for you to desperately desire a mango if you have never experienced a mango? Is it possible? It is possible only if there is a reference from the past. So here in our journey, we all are longing to experience not just peace and happiness and love and contentment, also some company, the Sato Pradhan company. We are looking for God, actually. But also we are looking for immortality, eternity. No one wants to die. We are looking for immortality during our life here. So that gives us an idea that we have experienced all this somewhere. And certainly we didn't experience it in this life, and we didn't experience it at this level. So where is this reference coming from? And then it makes sense. Okay, it all started from our supreme home. We have experienced it, just that we are looking for it in a wrong place and in a wrong consciousness. In the golden age, there is the soul consciousness. So that's why they are experiencing immortality. They are experiencing. They are not longing for these experiences. But in the copper age, iron age, it is the wrong consciousness. Ravan is the consciousness. Just a point, but any other comments?
Yeah, maybe it's a translation issue because it can sometimes be translated in English. He is beyond experience for God and also the soul. But from what you're saying, it's not complete. Maybe it's more beyond the experience of drama when the soul is in the home.
Yeah.
Or beyond Ravan's experience of the drama in that way. So is that correct?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, very nice question and helpful reply. So we could create time now, and the question for rooms could be, how would you describe being a master of the senses? So you can take that as information or experiential. And what is required to be a master of the senses? Is that okay, Prashant? Do you want to add?
Yes, very good. And
So just
one question: if there is Ravan in your town,
yeah,
Ravan's presence, sighting of Ravan anywhere?
Yeah, the rare lesser spotted Ravan somewhere. Okay, that's good. And hope we've got you in the right room for your language, but if there's any issues, I think there's a help button. So encouragement to come into camera if you can in the rooms and to meet, and giving chance for everyone to share. So see you back in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Warm welcome back. I hope those who wish to share had a chance. If not, do share in the chat if you can, or anything that came up that you think would be useful. Let's take a minute to have some experience of this true mastery. Thank you. The feeling of coolness came to mind, and there isn't that interference of Ravan, which is like some kind of fire. So today, really happy to welcome in Belinda to share some thoughts. So good afternoon for you.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it was so beautiful in the sharing how we're all so determined to actually come out of this influence of Ravan. And I think that must count for something, just this sheer love for Baba's truth and really wanting to be victorious. But today we were reminded that, Ravan also likes to be the spiritual effort maker. And I was thinking about how important experience is. Recently we had a visit from Shushma Didi from Jaipur. And one of my realizations listening to her was that for me, I realized there was still a lot of theory going on, theorizing, and how important it is to turn that into experience. And one of the things that came up in our group was that the truth is the highest gift, the highest attainment. There is nothing more beautiful. There is nothing that can give more joy and fulfillment than the truth. And so why is it that Ravan still wins on a regular basis? And I think for me, it's because I'm not going into that experience fully enough. It should ideally be such a profound and deep experience that actually nothing of Ravan's temptations pull me at all, because what the soul has is the best and the highest. And if we think about it, just in life, someone who has the best of everything is not out there desperately trying to attain something, whereas others might. So just to really check myself, what is it? It's definitely a lack of the experience of this beauty that Baba is giving us or has given us. And now it's just up to us to live fully in that experience, so that the world of the story or Ravan, whatever we call it, just looks like, some silliness going on, which has nothing to do with us. And I like very much what was said, that the essence of this knowledge is that the story is not worth a penny. And I just saw how, if we truly get that, it's like the job is done, no more labor. So I think, thank you. I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. I was thinking, I don't know where it's from, but the statement, seek the truth, but know why one is seeking it. And adding that discrimination because of this potential for mixed effort, that it's like there can be this galloping, but the reason why, and what you were sharing alluded to, like if we're not in truth, we there's big loss and loss of those experiences, but also we're in a reverse gear. I really appreciated this reminder. The environment of light is what makes it obvious for the soul that Ravan is ridiculous, and the experience of light, environment of light, is making everything more natural. And then what that means for each one of us, whether it's knowledge or environment of reminders, stepping into the experience, and then knowing environment of darkness, then Ravan's arguments come, we make it difficult for ourselves. So very very helpful to see what the game is. So welcoming in Prashant again, and we'll finish with the drill today, but there are a couple of questions, thoughts coming your way when you're ready.
Yeah, sure. And hello, and welcome back. And as Belinda emphasized, experience is the important thing for us. Let us come back to that experience. And we are understanding this formula, secret formula. Use the full light. If we use paras, that is like a nice way of saying, you give yourself permission to see in 100% light. And then the whole physical world appears smaller than any story. It is like, and Harry Potter is a story, and Mickey Mouse is another story, and Laurel Hardy another story. This is the story. Whole thing, and Prashant is within that story. And what is happening today, it is happening in the story. And we are able to step beyond the story. Paras allows us to do this. And beyond is alaukic reality. There's a complete world. This alaukic civilization doesn't need anything from the story. That's why they are desireless and egoless, because starting position, they are independent from the story. They neither need to complain anything there or question. It appears so absurd to go in the story and get caught into these things. Their life is celebration. Alokik world. They all are immortal, and they all, if anyone is immortal, that just changes, which means they are never victims and they are never beggars, not for 1 second. Game is different. The angelic princess in the region where all are worthy of love, worthy to be loved by God. They belong to God. All are like this forever. And so this is the environment of light that favors the invisible prince. And he is seeing this in a natural way, seeing his own truth, incorporeal and eternal, that appears natural. Complete independence from the story appears normal. He can clearly see the story is not worth a penny, because story is story. It is not affecting the real world. From the perspective of the real world, story is irrelevant and not worth a penny. As we continue on our journey, we have option to stay in light and again check this, to bring in full light. And in this battle, Dharma Yuddha, battle of righteousness, it is a battle of light and darkness. Straight fight between light and darkness, light wins. If there is light, light wins. Thank you. We're happy to come to hear the comments, questions.
Thank you. Is the condition of obesity a result of lack of being a master of the senses?
Different reasons. Some constitutions are different. They're just the metabolic system is different. And someone may not be obese and he may not be the master of the senses.
Could we say that when a politician uses demagogy, so that's seeking support by appealing to someone's prejudices or desires, is this a sign of Ravan? It's a sign of Ravan, but
of course, in the world, lots going on. But we check it in ourselves. As we are saying, when this world, story world, has become worth more than a penny, already we are into the Ravan's world. Ravan is the one who makes it look important and beautiful. And so we are entering into Ravan's world. Moment value goes beyond 1 penny.
yes, I wasn't sure whether to ask that question, but it's good to be reminded that this is it has many forms, and it's not just this more gross form. One question that came, not directly connected, what is determining when the soul comes into the drama, whether it's in the golden age or at the end of the cycle? Is this determined by karma or decided by God ultimately?
Sure. It is bottom line is karma, but within that one factor, and that is, if we use the word power for it, like say someone comes in the drama and can't handle, the real test is the situations come of praise and what else, cakes, glitter, gold. Situations come in the story. When do you cross the line? When are you defeated? Do you feel it is a drama and you are in your self-respect? If there is no power for this, then he cannot come early on in the cycle, because drama has got its caution. If someone has power and not having vices, then he can be in the world of objects, but he is master of the senses. And there are objects of the senses, but if he is master of the senses, then drama has confidence, and he can come in the golden age. There is perfection and gold and love and beauty everywhere, all around. But he doesn't cross the line. He remains in self-respect. That's why death doesn't give him sorrow. There is no sorrow anytime. Drama is a drama. Things change and things finish and things go. But he never takes sorrow because he has not crossed the line. So in other words, those who have less power, they continue to come later in the drama.
Yeah, connected to mastery. One question, what do I do if I feel powerless and defeated in a game?
Increase the light. This is when there is light, there is no, as was said, straight fight between light and darkness. Light wins. Only if light is less, then the darkness wins.
What does that look like in a practical way? Does that mean reading a Murli or?
Yeah, that may be a start. Reading, experimenting with it, revising. Like today's Murli, Baba is talking about drill, to experiment with these different drills, creating time, few minutes. Then it is light. You are creating light.
It was very interesting to hear Belinda talking about we can be in theory, but the experience becomes authority, which holds us more deeply so that we're not pulled by temptations. Would you say it's the same answer, bring light, or anything you'd like to add that the practice to, because I guess ego is happy with theory but doesn't want to apply it. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, light, includes, the whole. It may start with reading, but experiencing.
In a way, everything is very simple, isn't it? It's coming behind the line and having that simple practice that maybe helps shine light on Ravan, that is making a meal out of it in a sense. So we kind of come to time, and anything you'd like to share finally? There aren't any other questions as such at this point.
And, this may be a good subject for us as a homework until we meet tomorrow. To draw on your, on a page, draw this, that what is happening. What will it be if the invisible prince is conscious, fully conscious? And what will it be when he's not conscious? What will be that contrast difference? First see it on the drawing board and then experiment. Because these two contrasts we need to see. When the invisible prince is conscious, how will he use his mind? What will be the priority? Will he be still thinking of the Harry Potter, or will he be having other priorities? Yeah, so it is for us homework to experience and create lots of time, and you will see these minutes and hours with fondness as time goes.
Very nice. Just a request, could you just repeat what was the situation maybe in that last part? Didn't quite catch it from the translation.
And the word was see the contrast when the invisible prince is conscious. Try and experience what will it be? What are the priorities of the soul that is conscious? And will he still be thinking of Harry Potter? Means the drama. Will he still have passions about this? What are the priorities? First see it on the paper, and then create time to experience. Experiment with it.
Yeah, that's great. It's a wonderful method just to create the what would it be like, what is the perspective, what are the priorities, and then you're engaging and to experiment. Thank you. So we'll finish with a few minutes of drill from Madhavan. Thank you so much.
强。